What if an entire village had lived untouched by modern civilization for over 1,000 years? No roads, no internet, no electricity, no contact with the outside world, just a deep connection to the land, passed down through countless generations. Hidden in the most remote corners of the earth, isolated tribes and villages continue to live as if time stood still. Their ways of life offer a rare glimpse into humanity's ancient past and raise powerful questions about progress, privacy, and survival. Perhaps the most well-known example is the Sentinelese people, who inhabit North Sentinel Island in India's Andaman chain. They've rejected contact for centuries, often with deadly force. In Peru, the Mashco Piro tribe lives deep within the Amazon rainforest, remaining largely unseen by outsiders despite satellite tracking and research missions. But today, we journey far from the tropics, to a little-known mountain village hidden deep within the snow-capped peaks of China's Yunnan province. Nestled between cliffs and clouds, this community has survived in isolation for over a millennium. In this video, we'll uncover how this ancient village continues to thrive without modern technology, why they chose isolation, and what happens when modern civilization tries to get too close. This isn't just a story about the past. It's a window into a forgotten way of life, and the struggle to preserve it. Tucked away in the remote Hengduan Mountains of southwestern China, there exists a village so hidden, so difficult to reach, that few in the outside world even know its name. The locals call it Guanyinzhai, meaning the village of the silent spirit. With steep cliffs on all sides and only a narrow footpath leading in, the village is virtually cut off from the modern world. For centuries, no maps recorded its existence. Even nearby towns believed it was just a legend, an old folktale whispered among elders. That changed only a few decades ago when a lost hiker stumbled upon the settlement after getting separated from his group. He returned with stories of a stone-built village, surrounded by untouched forests, where the people spoke a dialect no outsider recognized. Since then, the Chinese government has placed strict limits on access to the area. The village is now considered a cultural preservation zone, and researchers must obtain special permits to even approach its borders. The secrecy is intentional. Locals fear that contact with the modern world could disrupt their spiritual harmony, bring disease, or even erase their traditions. As a result, photography, GPS mapping, and drone use are all prohibited near the region. To this day, very few images of Guanyinzhai exist. Most of what we know comes from rare, controlled expeditions and oral accounts passed down by mountain guides. But the deeper mystery remains. How has a village like this survived for over 1,000 years, untouched by the industrial revolutions, globalization, or digital age? Let's take a closer look inside. Life in Guanyinzhai hasn't changed much in over a millennium. The villagers still live in stone and wood homes, built by hand using materials from the nearby forest. There are no electrical lines, no paved roads, no phone signals, just a quiet harmony between people and nature. Each family tends a small patch of terraced farmland, growing crops like barley, millet, and root vegetables. Water is collected from natural mountain springs, and firewood is the only source of heat during freezing winters. For protein, they rely on seasonal hunting, raising chickens, and fishing in the glacial streams. But survival here isn't just about food, it's deeply cultural. Every morning, elders gather near a sacred pine tree believed to be the guardian of the village. It's where important decisions are made, prayers are offered, and oral history is passed on. Stories of ancestors, spirits, and mountain gods are taught to children not through books, but through ritual songs and carved symbols on stone tablets. The village follows a communal lifestyle. There's no private ownership of land, everything is shared. Villagers rotate roles as farmers, weavers, hunters, and healers. Traditional medicine is the norm, using herbs and roots passed down through generations. Clothing is made by hand, dyed with natural pigments, and adorned with patterns that represent the family's lineage. Language is another mystery. The dialect spoken here is so unique that linguists believe it may be a descendant of a now extinct ancient Chinese tongue. To date, it has no written form. All knowledge is memorized and recited, often in chants. Festivals are rare but powerful. Once a year, the entire village gathers to celebrate the Night of Ancestors. They light fires on mountaintops, wear ceremonial masks, and dance in a circle. If you're fascinated by hidden cultures and mysterious places the world rarely talks about, this is the channel for you. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. As soon as word spread of Guanyinzhai's existence, curiosity exploded. Explorers, journalists, and researchers began making inquiries. In 1998, a government-approved anthropology team hiked for days to reach the outer edge of the valley. They carried supplies, cameras, translators, and gifts. But before they could enter the village, they were met by a group of unarmed villagers who blocked their path. "You are not welcome here." In the early 2000s, a documentary filmmaker tried to approach Guanyinzhai illegally by hiring local guides. After days of navigating hidden trails, he was reportedly chased off by villagers banging drums and shouting warnings from cliff edges. As a result, local officials have designated Guanyinzhai as a no-contact cultural protection zone, making it illegal to attempt unauthorized visits. The future of Guanyinzhai hangs in a delicate balance. For now, their isolation has kept them safe, but for how much longer? Climate change is already reshaping the surrounding environment. Winters are harsher, rain patterns are shifting, and natural food sources are becoming unpredictable. Crops that once grew in abundance are now more fragile. As the climate changes, so does the very foundation of their survival. Meanwhile, modern technology is creeping closer, even if uninvited. Satellite imagery has revealed nearby settlements expanding. Roads are being built in the wider province, bringing tourists within hiking distance. Even the sound of drones, though banned, has reportedly been heard over the village in recent years. Younger generations, though deeply rooted in tradition, are aware that the world is changing. Some may one day choose to leave, drawn by curiosity or necessity. Others may stay, determined to preserve what their ancestors built. Either way, the question remains: can a culture stay frozen in time when the world around it melts away? Governments, anthropologists, and cultural preservationists now walk a tightrope: how to protect without interfering. Too much attention could destroy what makes Guanyinzhai special, but neglect might leave them vulnerable to threats they can't face alone. One thing is clear: the survival of this ancient village won't depend on isolation alone. It will depend on respect, wisdom, and the difficult balance between preservation and progress. If you had the chance to send just one message to someone living in Guanyinzhai, what would you say or ask? Would you tell them about the modern world? Ask about their ancient stories? Or would you simply listen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you know someone fascinated by lost tribes, hidden cultures, or untouched places, share this video with them. The more we talk about preservation, the better we understand why it matters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a journey like this one. In a world rushing toward the future, places like Guanyinzhai remind us of the power of staying still. They teach us that wisdom isn't always found in progress. Sometimes it lives in silence, stone, and tradition. Thanks for watching. See you next time.